Afternoon, everybody. You're welcome along to the Daily Sports Science Hurling Pod with myself, Barry Mullane, and Brendan Delaney, our hurling coach. Brendan, how was the weekend for you?
Good. No, yeah, good. Another good weekend of hurling to watch. So can't complain that way.
Did you get out and vote?
We did. We got that done. Got that done Friday. And then look forward then to another good weekend of hurling, as we said. So no, it was good. It was good to see all the provincial finals and good to see the big crowds at them as well. I thought they were very well supported. Great atmosphere at all three games.
Yeah, I was saying to you before we started, I was in Thurles. It was a brilliant atmosphere, actually.
Yeah, it really did look like that.
The Stars minors were sitting in front of me, and they were going bananas. Yeah, no, it was a brilliant atmosphere.
Good.
But I missed. I didn't get to see the Leinster game. I was down in Fota at the zoo with the kids in the lashing rain. With my teeth going, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. That's fine. So I missed the Leinster final. So we'll start with that. I know you saw it. I saw bits of it, but I suppose having looked at it, kind of looked at a few reports. It sounded like Donald Burke had a really good game. Was he the difference? Because he was struggling for form a little bit. You know, he wasn't taking frees. Or he was taking them. And if you kind of felt if Donald Burke hit form that they might win it, was that the case?
Yeah, now as you said, Donald Burke was excellent. I don't think he was the reason they won. I just thought overall they were just far superior across the whole pitch. It got close for a while, but I just felt that Na Fianna always had enough. Donald Burke was excellent. I think he got 3 points from playing the first 10 minutes and then tapped on a couple of more throughout the game. Kevin Burke at wing back was excellent. Liam Rush was very, very good as well. I said I just think they were just kind of superior across the whole pitch. They looked physically bigger as well, which I suppose that kind of comes with the age profile of the Kilcormac team. Like, you know, they're very young. They've a lot. I think Donald Burke said afterwards they had 8 or 9 still teenagers starting on the team, which is phenomenal. Like, you know, like they're going to be a team looking out for an All-Ireland in a couple of years to come. And then I suppose it was touched on as well during the game, the experience Na Fianna got from last year definitely really stood to them. They conceded a goal and went straight back up and got another goal and kind of pulled out ahead again and kind of put the game to bed then with a couple of minutes to go.
Yeah. I suppose, they were. I suppose the Fianna were there last year, weren't they?
Yeah, they lost to O'Loughlin Gales in the final last year.
We've had the experience, and like you said, you know, there's a lot of that. Those boys, I still thought they were going to win it, but I thought they'd win it just about. But what seemed like comfortable winners in the end. You know, I know Screeney got a late goal as well, but you know, all credit to Na Fianna.
And I think as well,
Rush looked like he was. I mean, I don't know if he's part of the Dublin Paddle next year. Maybe Neil O'Callaghan being the Fianna he's some player. You know what?
I'm sure he will. Yeah.
You know, because and just people outside of Dublin mightn't be aware that he was St. Pat's of Palmerston, and the team just folded. Didn't have a team. Wasn't like it wasn't like a controversial transfer. I want to play higher level hurling. He gave a huge amount of years to that club. He was great for them, and but yeah, it's some addition to bring someone like him in. You know,
massive. Yeah, he was excellent. Like he's like their half back line. Na Fianna's half back line were excellent. Like, I mentioned Kevin Burke already. He caught a couple of balls, but they just seemed to have a wall there that Kilcormac just couldn't get through, whether it was through a high ball from the puck out or running. They just couldn't get over that kind of half back line. So he's a man mountain of a man there at centre back, but the work rate and physicality throughout from everybody from Na Fianna was unreal. I thought Kilcormac kind of started slow. A few kind of bad decisions in front of the posts. Shots that were dropping short or shots that weren't on. And then because their full forward line always seemed to come looking for the ball, there was nobody then inside, which was kind of, went against them then. That's a real momentum killer when you have a shot that drops short. But then I just wrote down here for Sean Curry's goal. I don't know, did you see that? Just to be there touching on Liam Rush, he had a massive run through the middle of the defense, the KK defense, but was stopped, and they seemed to gain possession. It was kind of a small bit of a ruck and broke through to Sean Curry. But say from a coaching side of things, I was looking at it, you're tearing your hair out that the Kilcormac had no man on the goal side of the ruck. So when Sean Curry got it, he ran straight and it had opened up completely for him. It was just a real kind of bit naivety, there. You're kind of looking at someone there just to stand in front if it does break through to somebody there. And that was a goal that kind of pushed them ahead a good bit at that stage. Conor Mahon then from Kilcormac, he kind of got them back into it just before half time. But then AJ Murphy's goal, the fullback for Kilcormac, Oisín Mahon, kind of dived in then as well. So you're kind of thinking two bits of naivety there, and there's your 2 goals and 6 points in between the two teams. I don't know, I know Oisín Mahon is an experienced player and bits like that, but it was just a real kick in the teeth, especially after they just got a very good goal. I don't know, did you see that one? A 65 off the post, straight into their centre forward's hands on a goal. It was just kind of a kick in the teeth again, and I just think they really struggled to come back from that. I suppose as well, looking like last in Leinster, obviously they were 3 weeks on the bounce, and in these conditions, it's so tough to come back from that, or to keep turning over from that.
Yeah.
And they got a last minute goal last week against a really tough Castleton-Gagan team. Real physical, real physical game. So I'm sure there was sore bodies going into that last game. Whereas Na Fianna then just seemed to be able to use the kind of wide open patches there and really kicked on.
Yeah, maybe it was a case. I mean, look, in fairness to Na Fianna, I mean, they had a tough route as well. They had to play the Martins, and I know they were in Parnell. Only a walkover for them, really. But in fairness to them, that was a tough bat as well. So but maybe I don't know. Maybe the season caught up with KK. A lot of those lads would have been hurling for Offaly, under 20s, and Joe McDonough as well.
Yes. In the same year. Yeah.
I suspect a bit more conditioning and stuff like that. They'll be. Well, I mean,
they will, of course.
Under 20. Well, actually, tell a lot of that Offaly team are under 20 again next year.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them will actually be playing under 20, given that Offaly has to be to stay in Liam McCarthy. But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had experience in this because they were blown away really by O'Loughlin Gays last year. And then this year now they got to the final, and they're moving forward. So that's all you can ask of a young team, is that they move forward.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. No, they're definitely a side to look out for in the coming years. And it's something that you would have touched on the last podcast, was the fact their second team is really pushing as well. It's helping them in training, I still haven't found out whether they're actually going to have two senior teams or whether they stay at senior B. I don't know. I think, as far as I know anyway, you're not allowed to have 2 in the same grade. So I can't imagine that could be that going forward. I know Ballygunner won their intermediate or their second tier a couple of years ago, and they had to stay down. Yeah, that's fair enough. Is there anybody looking at Na Fianna, is there anybody that stood out? Could you see likes of AJ Murphy or Stacey making an impact for Dublin next year? Bearing in mind now that their manager is going to be their I thought the Burks across Donal, Kevin, and I can't rightly remember the cornerback's name. I think he's another brother of them. I thought they were very good. I thought Kevin Burke was outstanding. AJ Murphy was very good, got a very good goal. Sean Curry, excellent as well. Had a great sidestep for the goal. Is it Colin? Yeah, Colin Curry as well off the freeze was excellent. Then a young lad, Jack Maher. They said I think he held minor with Mead. He was excellent. Real kind of injection of pace into that half forward line. A real, like, he got the first score. He got, I think, maybe 3 or 4 from play altogether. Could be wrong with that. But he was really, really good. I could see him kind of pushing on a bit. I thought physically he seems ready, although he's only 20 or something like that. So he's one there to look out for. And then their midfielder from Limerick, Brian Ryan, is it?
Yeah.
He was very good. I wonder, is he open to going into the Dublin panel then as well? So
yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, he's
very
yeah. Brian Ryan. Well, I'd say conversations will be had or have been had. So you just don't know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I was glad for the Fianna, especially for fellas like, as I know, who are involved with the underage there, like Colin Burchell and Stephen Behan and Stevie Fitz and those lads. Delight for them. They've done an awful lot of work there. I know they have big numbers, but I mean, you still have to do the right stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant minor teams there for a number of years. When I was working in Dublin, it took them a while to win the big one last year, but they've really kicked on now, and they'll be hard to stop. We'll talk about winners, who might win it later on. Just moving on to we'll stick with Saturday. No complaints really from Cashel in the intermediate. Good win for Watergrass Hill. Didn't see it, but from what I've just read, that they were worthy winners. Adam Murphy got a goal that kind of sealed it, but I think the probably on the wall for that.
Yeah. You were right, actually. Eddie Enright was the manager. I think he got an All-Ireland 2001. Watergrass Hill. Yeah, as you said, Adam Murphy was excellent. 1-5 from play, 1-12 altogether. It's there's nearly the difference there on its own. Kind of felt for Cashel. I know they were in the football semi-final the week before.
That had no bearing on it. None of them played football.
I know. There was something. We played Kilmurray, who had played Cashel. We played them in football the day after with their second team, and their word was that Cashel had no hurlers playing. They were kind of letting them rest for the hurling. And
rightly so. I know this isn't a Tipperary pod, but in Tip, we're a very good dual county, most of the county anyway.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like Cashel only got to the semi-finals of that competition, and if you're any kind of, put any kind of effort in, you could win that. Like Lockmore second team won the junior.
Okay.
And I think they bet JK Brackens, who are a senior football team as well. So just by
sorry, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So I don't think like Cashel, they obviously put a bit of effort in. I mean, they have a football team, and they're But I wouldn't put any I wouldn't criticize them in any way.
No.
Paying any of her football, it wasn't their focus, and they didn't win if they won the junior competition, I'd say they would have treated with not their respect, but you know what I mean, like maybe the way Lockmore treat.
No, I completely understand. I hadn't realised that. We had just heard that Cashel had arrested all the hurlers and took an absolute hammer in the football, so they were obviously looking at pushing on the hurling. But I said, I just think Watergrass Hill are a really, really good team. Really well balanced. They'll as far as I know, Adam Murphy is called into the seniors. Darrell Leary is kind of in around the panel already, so they're really well balanced team, but they're going to take stopping in that intermediate for the All Ireland.
They will, because I think Cashel, after the semi-finals, Cashel were favourites to win it. So fair play to Watergrass Hill. I might ask you about Immokilly later on. Its merits. But do you think that helped Watergrass Hill? Like fellas like, I think, who played Adam Murphy, Darrell Leary, and was there another play? Was it one of the Desmonds?
Sean Desmond, Sorry, maybe it's Sean Desmond called in. I'm not 100% sure, but I suppose the Immokilly thing, I think it's fantastic that clubs, in particular here, St. Ita's are down the road from us, and they're a junior club, and they obviously have aspirations of pushing on to in Cork, Premier Junior and Intermediate and bits. But I suppose in their heart and soul, they know in this generation of players, they're never going to play senior. So it's fantastic for those players to get the opportunity to play senior with Immokilly. I suppose where the kind of grey area there is the likes of, say, Watergrass Hill now, who have won this and are playing senior next year, that those players have the chance of playing because they're in the next tier below it and have a good chance of winning it. Same as Father Neil's a couple of years ago, Castle Lyons as well. Look, I tip my hat off to those players who are able to play 2 championship games a weekend. It's absolutely unreal what they put their bodies through for Watergrass Hill and for Immokilly. So I think they deserve the merits of both. And the celebrations with both as well. And look, I do think it's great that they have the chance of playing senior, and to kind of play at that higher level, and as you said, then able to bring that kind of standards back to their own club and really push on again.
Yeah, I suppose we might as well talk about it now. I suppose there is a bit of, maybe we don't understand it outside of Cork. I mean, I'd love to see a South Tipperary divisional side, made up of the junior and intermediate clubs.
Yeah.
Because there's the way things are going at the moment. There's a good few of them, but there's some brilliant hurlers in each of those clubs. There's lots of work being done on them. It might benefit Tipperary in the long run. I don't know. I know North Tipperary had a football team a number of years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I think they called themselves Thomas Ashe. They actually won a county football title, made up players from the North.
Junior.
And kind of similar to hurling down here. But anyway, that again, a conversation for another day. But I suppose Immokilly is, if you lose to them, you're kind of going, is it fair? But probably for the benefit of Cork hurling, it's probably a good thing that you've lads from James Harty, and we get to see him playing senior hurling for a club that he's going to play senior hurling with. Probably not.
Yeah, and like, in fairness to Immokilly themselves, like they've really put a lot of effort into it and really made it worthwhile for their players. I know a couple of years ago they had played something like 16 challenge games across the year, which is off the charts, really, like for a club that don't have a league to compete in. But as in, they really put the effort in. They have a manager, they have their S&C, they have proper physio who's in constant contact with the players and bits like that. So they do it right. Unfortunately, the other divisions maybe don't have the funding or facilities to do that within their regions. So it kind of makes it a bit difficult to compete with Immokilly at that level for when they played their confined championship.
Is there any other division that
say that again, Barry, sorry?
Is there any other division that's kind of that put as much effort into it as Immokilly?
No, not to that level. UCC would always kind of have say the good players on paper, say, but unfortunately they mightn't always be able to play the weekend depending on where it falls in their own county. Unfortunately not at the moment, but look, in a couple of years' time, again, you don't know. I know, say, in the early noughties in Immokilly were kind of similar to that, where they'd get the club to send in 2 or 3 players and meet up the week before championship and go. So they've just targeted and they've got a lot of success from that.
I'd say it's very player driven.
Yeah, and again, it probably comes from the likes there of Shamey, and Kieran O'Brien was the captain this year from Ita's, who knows that this is their massive chance to be playing at the top table and win a county, So I suppose that that's where it comes from, and they're like, it's a real solid group. A lot of them have been playing together for a long time. They won that 3 in a row a couple of years ago as well. So they're nearly like a club team in terms of kind of what they've been through and how much they've played together in bits. So
and there's nothing, and they might not be back next year, but can those Watergrass Hill players play for Immokilly next year?
No. So Watergrass Hill go into the Senior A Championship next year. So they'll lose them. There's that kind of conversation or early bits of whispering that they might bring in that the premier intermediate players can't play with Immokilly because they're only one step away from senior. But again, we don't know how that's going to go, or if it is going to go at all.
Anyway,
but yeah,
and well done to Watergrass Hill again. And yeah, like they'll be hard to stop.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Moving on to Sunday then. I was in Thurles. It was a brilliant game. It was a brilliant atmosphere there. I was telling you, I had the Sars miners sitting in front of me who were making plenty of noise. You know, I was saying to you, I fancied Sars to get really close in this one. Admittedly, I thought Gunners would get over the line, but I just knew from last year how disappointed they were, and how, particularly talking to Jim O'Sullivan after it, he was just, they were all gutted after it, their performance. I knew by them, I know what he puts into his coaching, that they'd be ready, and just delight for him as well. Like, the first thing I've down here about the game is Gunners' indecision on the ball. I just thought it was very, at the time, uncharacteristic, but maybe it's just characteristic of this season with them, because they were making those mistakes against Doon in the first half particularly, and okay, look, they've had a long break between when they won their county, the way they do it in Waterford, and Doon were just off winning their county, and they were match sharp. They might have been hanging at the end of the game, all that, but they were definitely match sharp. But I think the Lockmore game, I was saying to you how disappointed, but it's since come out that there was a bug in the Lockmore camp. They were there was a serious bug. A lot of lads were sick.
It's a pity.
It pains a lot.
It does.
So maybe it's just characteristic of Ballygunner this year, because there was a lot of turnovers, interceptions, and to be honest, like, Sars looked a better team from the throw-in.
Yeah, they did. I've Sars fast start. They roared into a 1-4 to a point after 5 minutes, but even not just on the scoreboard, as you said, they're all over the pitch. They were, in their faces and contributing to Ballygunner. I've Ballygunner decision making was poor, as you said. It was just indecision on the ball. I thought, again, you might be able to maybe see it or have seen it a bit better. It seemed like Sars just kind of went man on man and just put pressure on everywhere around the pitch.
They did. They had a plan, use the ball, but it wasn't like your kind of, we'll just make passes just for the sake of it, because they launched a lot of ball on top of was it Sweeney, the big lad?
Sweeney,
He might have touched the ball much, but because he had it back there. And like, it wasn't like Ballygunner weren't lacking in work rate themselves. It's just Sars ball brilliantly, like releasing the ball out of the tackle and then giving to the man in the right position, and then the ball was delivered well, launched up. And then again, it's like the Cork seniors during the championship. Their ability to win breaking ball and to run at pace onto breaking ball, I thought was really like, there's a serious platform for them to win. And their accuracy in the first half particularly was excellent. They missed 1-5 2 points. Like they missed. They were outstanding. Yeah,
they made two changes that I was kind of surprised with. They put the two McCarthy's, Cahill and Cullum, I think they're twins, into midfield, and put Dan Kearney and Keane Darcy both out in the wing. How it kind of shaped out then, it looked like, say, Darcy played as kind of a third midfielder, with Jack O'Connor and Daniel Hogan, and Dan Kearney across the half-forward line. But Dan Kearney was unbelievable Daniel Hogan was savage. Like they really dragged kind of Ballygunner everywhere. And what I saw anyway was the fact that, say, Luke Elliott, Brian Murphy pushed up on the half forwards. The half backs from Ballygunner had to follow them because there was always an overload around the middle that they could do it then.
Yeah. Johnny Carney was brilliant. But he was everywhere. He wasn't just, he was behind midfield as well at times.
Yeah,
I think that was part of their plan last year, and it just never materialized.
Okay.
But, I mean, they pretty much plan. This time out, Daniel Hogan, excellent. I have here the Sars, they dominated middle third. They were really, really impressive there. I said their use of the ball, shooting very, very good.
It was really brave from them as well, I thought, to push up that far on, say, Peter Hogan, Mikey Manny, Kevin Manny are on the middle, and to leave that space for Desi and Fitzgerald inside. Like, poor Paul Leopold, I think he was the only one that you could say didn't win that direct battle 1-1. Fitzgerald was excellent. But in fairness to them, they backed themselves and they said, look, we're probably going to concede scores, but we'll do enough the other end to score, you know.
Yeah. Sarah's response to big scores was really impressive as well.
Yeah.
When Desi got that goal, like they got a couple of points at one stage as well. They got a few points back as well. But each time Sarah's hit back. You're thinking, okay, here's Ballygunner now. Thoughts that Ballygunner were going to pull away, or maybe Sarah just came back at them. Really impressive.
On that for Barry, Desi's goal, I have Gillan-esque, just the way he kind of drifted in behind, played the hurley, Conor O'Sullivan has scored, and then 2 minutes later Fitzgerald scored a point, and it was 1-7 each, and that was on 18 minutes, and Ballygunner didn't score again for 13 minutes then after that.
Like that 4 point, sort of the 4 point goal. And to come back, serious stuff from Sarah's. I have down here just on the Ballygunner side, I have never seen a goalkeeper keep a team in the game with puck out. Unbelievable. Even when they went 4-0 up, like they were blitzing them, he hit Barry Mullane with a puck out. He stuck it over the bar. I just went, gee, that's unbelievable. And he did that a few times. Kept him in it in that first half. Had a few great ones in the second half. He was kind of more on the ball in play in the second half. Just and even his deliveries there they look simple, but heavy pitch, middle of winter, his ball striking is just spectacular.
In fairness to TG Cahard, some of the camera angles they had for the puck outs, but it was behind him in goals, was unreal to see. But you can obviously see how much work they've done on it because of their positioning up front. But it's fine being able to run, but he's able to put it into their pocket from 60, 70 yards. And he always seems to make the right decision with the puck out. You know?
I didn't realise TG Cahard did that.
It was. It's worth looking at.
He was superb. And the Sars keeper, I've forgotten his name. He was very good too. He found himself in play good.
Ben Graham.
Ben Graham, yes. And if it was Paul Leopold or if it was Conor O'Sullivan had the ball, like he was sprinting off his line for as well. Because they were launching ball. Actually, now launching ball at half time, as you are, you're sitting down, and the way there's conversations where you just can't help overhearing. There was a fella that was chatting to the two behind me. They were Cork, and they were saying, I think they were happy how things were going. You're a goal up in a Munster final against Ballygunner. But he didn't know about Sweeney. He hasn't got the ball in his hand once. I think he did. I think I'd taken him off now. I was going. That man is causing untold damage up there. He like his job was he was excellent. Where I thought, geez, he could have caught that. The size of him, maybe he should have caught. But
I feel like he's my age growing up. I feel like he's been that size since he's about 14 or 15. He's always towering over us. But he really occupied Barry Coughlin, and because he's that size, Barry Coughlin nearly had to follow him everywhere. So when he drifted out, he was out, say, at wing forward a couple of times under puck outs or whatever. The Barry Coughlin had to follow him. Philip Manny followed Daniel Hogan, and that spine of Ballygunner for the last 10 years was being dragged where they didn't want it to be dragged. Normally they're straight up. Barry Coughlin, Philip Manny, Park Manny at 11, and that was just being pulled apart from them. And it's down to James Sweeney and Daniel Hogan, their movement and just being able to occupy them.
Yeah, and look, like any good team, you need impact from the bench. And they got it, didn't they? From Rigo, the chance of Rigo bringing around the new stand. It'll be for a long time. What an introduction!
He was excellent.
I have it here, Brendan. 51 minutes. There was a ball delivered in. Stephen O'Keefe kind of batted the ball that was going over the bar. It went out, and there was a bit of a ruck developed. But whatever way it broke, he did this pickup where he kind of flicked it up and away from the defender.
Yeah,
it was a brilliant skill. Caught it, stuck it over, and I went, "This is Sars J, I've no doubt."
Yeah.
Before he got the 2 goals. Now look, did he take 10 steps for the goal?
Yeah, he probably did.
But it was a free in anyway, and Daniel Hogan would have stuck that over. I still think they would have won the match.
Yeah, I think it was just going that way. But he had a massive impact. The two other points he got down under the stand, on the near side of the camera. I'm not 100% sure which stand, but they were savage. But the finishes for the goal as well. The second goal he gave him no chance. He gave Stephen O'Keefe no chance to get anything to it. And we know how good Stephen O'Keefe is in goals, but he absolutely buried it. No, great impact. Like he was poor. He probably say himself he was poor in the county final, and he was dropped then really for the last game against Fecal, and it's kind of hard to start or to not start Myers after the last game. But it didn't fall for Myers yesterday. But then obviously to be able to bring on 2-3 off the bench is unreal.
He transferred from somewhere, did he?
Yes, he transferred from Watergrass Hill. I'd say maybe 3 years ago now. So I'd say there's no love lost there between the two clubs.
They're not transfer, was it? Or,
yeah, there's a few different bits kind of as to why it happened, but they're not far from each other at all. They're 10 minutes really, so there's definitely no love lost there between them. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just thought that they were, again, go back to Jim O'Sullivan, they were superbly coached. How they're used to the ball was really good. Like the Ballygunners were in their faces, and they were just able to. There was a period there early in the game where they hand passed the ball, got it out of the tackle, and then they were swarmed again, got it away, found it a crossfield ball, and it was like in a soccer match, you know.
Yeah.
And there was a clap from the crowd. From the Sars fans, like, as you know, but you don't often see hurling, and it wasn't. I have to stress, like, it wasn't tippy tappy hurling, and it was really good play, smart play, because the ball then was launched inside, and they might have got a score from it. I can't remember, but really well coached.
I like Sars for forever. Really, were just really silky, slick hurlers and real fit athletes. But I think the last couple of years they've added this work rate to their game, especially from the forwards and the half forward line, which is unmatched by a lot of teams. Like as you said, they match Ballygunner's work rate, which is always Ballygunner would kind of pride themselves on. But their hurling as well on top of it is always so good. Like Paul Leopold, Conor O'Sullivan are as good ball playing cornerbacks as you're going to have. And obviously being able to use the goalkeeper as well. But just when you touched on turnovers earlier, they had 33 turnovers when Ballygunner were in possession in 65 minutes of play is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Especially when you consider how many minutes the ball is actually in play, in those 65 minutes.
Yeah, it's outstanding. And like Ballygunner aren't bet often. Like you forget, like, they weren't beaten last year. They lost it on penalties, didn't they?
Yeah. By to Thomas's, yeah.
So they're just extraordinary. I think what was it, the last time they were beaten so was when Ballyhale bet them 2 years ago. Yeah. So
yeah.
that's some run. And
yeah,
for Sarah to bounce back after their defeat, but I'd say like whatever you think about the championship in Cork, Immokilly, like Sarah, they're still the best club side in Cork. Immokilly aren't a club. They're a combination of club. They're a divisional side, and that they're not a club. But Sarah, and I would say, I'd say they were reminded of that often. They're the best club side in Cork. They're there on merit. And
and they like, again, we touched on it the last time. Like, the break probably helped them a lot, to take your downtime and reset again and go, which did help them because in the last couple of years when Immokilly won that 3 in a row and teams had to go out after a week or two after losing to Immokilly and then going like the Glen a couple of times, it's very difficult to get back up for that then. And I'd say probably Stars last year maybe celebrated a lot and then went down and were, as you said, disappointed against Ballygunner. So they had the time to lead into the championship against Fecal. And no disrespect to Fecal, they obviously had an easier challenge than playing Ballygunner in the first round of the Munster. So it did help them, and I suppose that kind of that confidence that is never lost on Sars kind of shone through again. Like, I heard Johnny Crowley saying they were the only group of people in the country who thought they were going to win, and I'd say absolutely. Like, we both said Ballygunner here we're going to win. So massive credit has to go to them.
The classic, we were written off. Like, I think somebody, one of the Ballygunner players said something about being written off this year. But genuinely, Johnny Crowley was right. They were the only ones that thought they were going to win it. So well done, and it was well documented that the players drove this.
Yeah,
great management from Johnny Crowley to
absolutely
that. That's the kind of environment you want, isn't it? And fair play.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's difficult to push it as a manager if your players are going the opposite direction. So to put it back on them and for them to produce those performances the last 2 games is excellent. Yeah.
And so then to the third final, I got wrong. I went for Portaferry. Gutted for them. Look, I explained to you a few weeks ago my reasons for thinking and wanting Portaferry to win it. Well, Myers of Schlockneil, but I just I have I know most of those players, and I was just seeing a Tom Murray on the TV last night, just with the celebration going on behind him. He was just crestfallen. I was gutted for him. And all those players. I was actually texting Dermot O'Sullivan last night just to say congratulations. Brilliant win. Looks like Portaferry in the semi-final. 18-10. And because that would have been interesting, with
his connection,
connection too, because that goes back longer than me. And suddenly, I'd say I press send. 2 goals, bang, just
So as you said there, it was 18-10 on 45 minutes, and 47 minutes. McGuigan and Cassidy got 2 goals. So within 2 minutes, it was back to a 2-point game. And I suppose that's how quickly hurling can change. It's mad. Like, the whole game, Portaferry looked in control. 4 points up after 3 minutes. I just have full of energy, pace, and intensity. Schlockneil kind of just looked a bit stuck to the ground. So maybe I know it was 2 weeks ago, but the extra time, the emotion of beating, their name has gone from me. Cushendall, sorry, yeah, beating them, after how many times they got so close. It just kind of looked like a small bit of a hangover from that. Portaferry were excellent in the first half. I thought Finn Herbert at centre forward, Tom McGrattan from the freeze was excellent. I thought Schlockneil were lucky to get out of it. To be honest, in the end, although they finished very strong as well.
Yeah, they did. I'm wondering, did Barry Traynor went off with a bit of injury? I wonder, was he carrying that at the time, because that side looked really open, and I wonder, was Barry hampered by that around that time, because like, he's a serious player.
Yeah.
But he went off holding, it looked like a bit of a hip injury or something, whatever
Okay.
happened. I just wonder what happened there, because
yeah.
But yeah, you're like those two players you mentioned, Finn Turpin and Tom McGrattan. I think Tom is one of the best young hurlers in the country. And Finn Turpin's a year younger. Finn is only 19.
Jeez,
yeah, terrific.
I thought they were both excellent. Yeah,
this lad has a big, huge future ahead of him. I told you a couple of weeks ago about Owen Sands, Dahi's brother. He reminds me of Bonner.
Yeah,
Work rate, he's tenacity, but he's a savage hurler too. Like,
yeah.
Dahi was good. Like they were bossing the game. And but even like they got a goal then after those two goals. Carl Coleman came on, got a great goal. I thought, right,
Yeah,
I'd say they might have ran out of juice a little bit. They missed a couple. Tom missed a couple, but they were hard frees now. I'd say Tom was out on his feet.
yeah.
I was wondering why CT was taking the long range free. Why didn't they give it to Tom? But I'd say Tom was out on his feet there, because Tom took one after that, and it never looked like going over.
Yeah.
Just
they got the goal, yeah. And in fairness, Shane McGuigan, who I thought was unreal, he was my man of the match, to be honest. He won the puck out after it and won a free. So, that psychological, a 2-point goal. It kind of really put Schlockneil kind of back kind of, on the front foot again. Then 2 massive points from the wing back, Rorio, is it Manine, who ended up getting man of the match at the end. I just have the finish strong. Shane McGuigan, Jack Cassidy, I thought were excellent throughout. Look, as you always kind of feel sorry for the team that lead the whole game, really. They were 8 points up, 15 minutes to go, 7 up at half time, 8 up at a stage in the first half as well. Like, it was just a crazy 2 minutes. And it's back. The game is back in the balance again,
Yeah, I think I'll change my mind on the best dual player. I'll give it to Shane McGuigan now.
Yeah, he was. I thought he was class. Yeah, I thought he really, really stepped up. He seemed to be everywhere. Like you're kind of looking for a bit of structure from your half back line, but he was just everywhere. He was at every breaking ball, every tackle, and 3 points from play for wing back isn't that bad. I suppose he knows where the post is from the football.
Yeah. No, terrific player. And
yeah.
So just looking ahead to the semi-finals, so it's going to be Sars versus Schlockneil and Loughrea and Fianna. Hard one to call, isn't it? Like there's no Ballygunner in there, or St. Thomas's to go.
Yeah. No Ballygunner, no St. Thomas's, no even Ballyhale Shamrocks or Napier or
Black and Gales aren't there, so.
Yeah, like it's going to be very difficult to see who's going to come out of this. I suppose saying the Fianna Loughrea, you're probably looking at Fianna just with the kind of consistent games they've had over the last couple of weeks. I know it never really affected Thomas's, but they were there so often. It was a big monkey off the back for Loughrea to get over the line this year, and to stop Thomas's domination of Galway. So I think maybe Fianna there, kind of head screwed on enough to get over the line there in that one. And then Sars and Schlockneil.
50-50 one.
Oh, very 50-50. And even just thinking of matchups there, like they're, both clubs will be able to match each other, I think, in terms of personnel that need to be picked up. So I think Schlockneil are very physical, very fit as well to match them. Stars love the players to deal with Schlockneil's, say Brendan Rodgers, Jack Cassidy around the middle as well. They'll have somebody for him. So I don't know. I suppose just being Cork, I'll have to tip Stars on that one, and hope to get over the line. It'd be great to see a Cork team in another All Ireland final.
Yeah, no, yeah, Cork are flying. I think that would be a draw. So
okay,
I'm going to sit in the fence there. That one. If Schlockneil got Chris McCaig to come back and hurl, I'd go for Schlockneil.
Yeah.
The other game, I haven't seen anything from Loughrea. To be honest, I haven't seen them playing. So, maybe Croke Park. Are they on Croke Park again? Is it a double header or is it
As far as I know, they're Croke Park anyway. I know I had a look there. They're on the weekend of the 14th and 15th, but I don't think there's specific dates or time set yet.
Yeah, if it's on in Croker, maybe that would swing it in the Fianna's.
Yeah. Although last year was it a double header in Portlaoise or was it one game in Portlaoise? Wasn't Thomas's Ballygunner in Portlaoise?
Yeah, you're right. So maybe that could be. Yeah, I don't know.
A factor, yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, I was thinking back there at it was Sars winning the Munster, the Watergrass Hill win the intermediate Munster, and Russell Rovers won the junior Munster. They're all three East Cork teams. Whatever about Cork, they're all East Cork. So it's just mad, really. When you think about it.
The Immokilly.
Yeah, that's the Immokilly, the catchment. I don't think Russell Rovers had too many on the Immokilly panel. But a good win against Kilrossity, 312-17. And then just to keep going with East Cork in the Dean Ryan final on Friday, the under-17 Munster schools hurling, Middleton CBS beat the Mon AG. So it was an all-Cork final, which was great. It was a good occasion in Páirc Uí Rinn, but Middleton CBS, they won well in the end. They just got good goals, and pulled away. So another East Cork win over the weekend, but there was three lads from Killa involved from my club. So Alan Canary was coaching them, and then Cormac Dean, Joe Dean's son, was playing midfield, and then Ben Geary came on as well. So it was good.
Yeah,
good for us as well.
Harty's shaping up nicely, actually. I think the preliminary quarterfinals are next week.
Yeah.
You've got are the Mon are in the quarters, are they?
I don't think the Mon went straight through, no.
Not.
I think De La Salle went straight through out of their group. But the Mon are in the prelim. CBS went straight through.
Okay, and Cashel went straight through as well. And then that's right, yeah. So how many Cork teams are in the knockouts? You've got the Mon, you've got CBS.
The Mon and CBS, and I'd say Charleville as well.
Right. Were Middleton there today?
Sorry, Middleton CBS. I'm so used to just calling them CBS.
Is that? Oh, I was thinking of what's the rugby school? Well, they're hurling rugby.
CBC.
CBC
there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got. So it's all Cork, Brendan. Jesus, you'll win everything next year. Now, in fairness, now you've got.
I think Nina there are going to be the team to beat in that.
I'm not so sure.
No,
they're very young. As in, I know they're all young, but a lot of these boys I think would have played in that Dean Ryan final last year. They lost a lot of last year's winning team.
Okay, right.
Now look, it could be if there was a tip team going to challenge, I thought it would be Thurles. And they're Thurles are playing Templemore, and so there's 3 tip teams in the preliminary quarterfinals. The 2 playing each other, and then Cashel. There's 4 tip teams in the knockout. So we're not doing too bad down here either.
Yeah.
No, I think that Nina team are very talented. no doubt about it. I think they're a young Harty team.
Okay.
That might be
Okay.
Yeah,
they won the Dean Ryan last year, wasn't it? And so I suppose next year, I suppose maybe when they're kind of come to fruition.
That Thurles team have, I think, 11 of the tip minor panel that won last year are going to Thurles CBS.
Okay.
And
they're playing Templemore, is it?
They're playing Templemore, yeah. They should win that.
Okay.
Templemore are, they're a brilliant hurling school, but I just think they'll have to. But I think like Nina, I think that's a very young Thurles team, and a lot of them will be playing Harty next year. I think that might be the, if you could put money on school matches, maybe Thurles for next year's one. But because I think the Mon are very strong, and Flannans are very good.
Yeah,
there as well. They drew with Thurles actually in a cracker. Actually watched that. So yeah, no, Harty's going to be really good. I probably definitely I might go to the all tip one myself. So yeah. It's always nice to talk about the Harty Cup. Wasn't planning on doing that, but fair play to you for bringing it. Well, good. So look, Brendan, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget that, as you know, we're launching a new website at DSS Sports Science, a brand new platform. If you go onto the social media pages, you'll see the links to sign up. Some brilliant stuff there available. There's loads of resources there, like ebooks, chatting with other coaches as well. There's all the webinars, there's pre-season stuff, there's planners, the strength conditioning stuff. I think it's a must for any coach. So the Black Friday deal is still there. So I think I'd recommend it to any coach.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. We'll talk to you again soon, Brendan. Join us, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers.